And welcome to Exquisite You. My name is Dhrumil and this initiative is brought to you by Aries. Today I'm in an esteemed company of somebody who has made India proud. Somebody who is an IVF specialist. Somebody who has also been a part of the policy that was made by the government. She runs a clinic in the city of Anand. It is called Akanksha IVF Hospital. But more than that, she's such a wonderful human that you're going to meet today. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Nayana Patel. Hello ma'am, how are you?
Hi Dhrumil, how are you?
I'm good as well. Ma'am, you are never afraid to answer difficult questions. Whoever puts it in front of you. Where does this feisty spirit come within you?
I think it comes from my mother. She was a fighter all the way for women empowerment.
Okay.
And she trained us the same way, that do what you think is correct. People will say whatever they have to say, just ignore. But when you go to bed, your conscience should be clear and you should have a good sound sleep. Don't harm, help others. That was it.
Which is so amazing. Ma'am, how was your childhood like? Because you said that your mother worked for other women, for their upliftment, for their empowerment. How was your childhood in between all of these things?
Well, she hardly gave time to me because she was a social person, but she was helping women to educate them, night school for women who were illiterate. She would go to help any woman there at Rajkot, and I would say proudly that the first municipal corporation of Rajkot had 51 members, out of which 50 were male. One, my mother Savita Ben Tanna, was the only lady corporator, but she could do whatever she wanted to help the women empowerment, and people used to salute her for that.
Wow. One X amongst those 50 males made a difference then.
I'm talking about 55 years back, yes.
It is so amazing. Ma'am, when I talk about you in a city like Anand, which is comparatively not a metro city like other cities of Gujarat, and when you started there, especially with the IVF, I'm sure a lot of people would have said it's a far-fetched dream. It would never work in a city like Anand. People would not believe in you. To now, when you're one of the best in the country.
Dhrumil, I fully agree with you that people had doubts. Even I myself had it, but I wanted to do it. When I started IVF in Anand, it was a rural town of 150,000 people. If I wanted double distilled water, I had to run to Ahmedabad. If I wanted the drugs, I had to order it from Mumbai specially, because no stockist in Anand that time, no stockist in Ahmedabad. And there I had my routine OBGY practice. That was of course my bread and butter. But in the morning from 5 to 8, I will start with this passion of doing IVF. My colleagues, fraternity laughed that this can be successful abroad or in metros. In Anand, it's never going to work. Yes, initial 5-10 results were negative, but I decided I'll do it cost price for the drug, media, everything, and call the people and do it, because I knew I could do it. And the first patient with tubal block, one of the general practitioner got it to me and said that, doctor, you have to see that she becomes pregnant, and we did our IVF. She got a positive result, and I have recorded the first heartbeat of that baby, and that baby Kaival is now almost 25 years of age. That is the story, and it has become a history now that anything is possible. You don't need to live in metro to do something.
I'm sure, ma'am, when you heard about the test tube baby for the very first time, what did you feel then? Then did you feel that mujhe bhi ye karna hai?
I was quite, you know, how can this happen? How can we create a life in a lab? Is it possible to create artificially and put it in a womb? I was studying. When I was studying, it was just one paragraph in our gynae MD semester.
Only one paragraph for IVF?
Only one paragraph for IVF. Because I cleared in 86. After that, I started learning, and after that, I felt it is possible, because veterinary, you know, there is their veterinary college in Anand. There they do lot of IVF for animals. So I first started visiting the veterinary college, how they do it. And if that can be done, why can't it be done in human being? It's just translation to humans. And that what gave me the courage that yes, it is possible and we can do it.
Ma'am, I'm sure that while you were experimenting, while you were learning, and you wanted to, you know, give happiness to couples who could not naturally conceive, there must be a lot of opposition also, especially from your male counterparts.
Of course, we know we live in this male-dominated society. I would not say anymore, but still yes. And a female doing it, going ahead of the males, definitely is not that welcomed in our society. So there was a lot of, you know, comments, especially when I started doing surrogacy. People were like, what is she doing? This cannot be done. This is unethical. And so many comments I had at that time. And to my surprise, I remember once at the airport, a junior colleague was sitting with me and he said, "Doctor, how can you do surrogacy? I can never even think of it. And what's your email ID? I said, my email ID is nayana@ivf-surrogate.com. How can you keep such an ID? I said, what's wrong in it? I'm doing it and I want to show it that I'm doing it. 10 years down the line, the same doctor calls me and says, Madam, I'm doing my first surrogacy case. Can you guide me?
Wow.
See, so it takes time when you are doing something unconventional like IVF, like surrogacy. People will not have trust. They will not believe in it unless you show the results and prove that yes, this is possible.
So true. Ma'am, two things. One, Anand, of course, it's extremely famous for its milk federation, but also it has gotten infamous for the media perception of what surrogacy is. And also the topic of surrogacy. Please tell us, because I'm sure on what side of the issue are you on, why did you believe that surrogacy is important?
Dhrumil, I'd like to correct you. It's not infamous. Like Dr. Kurian said that no publicity is negative. Positive or negative, it's a good publicity.
Absolutely.
What I feel is that it is not infamous. There are huge number of articles which has praised it also, including Oprah Winfrey.
But that's what I'm saying, ma'am, that it's actually perceived to be infamous.
If I tell you, the Week magazine 2010 January had 25 personalities from India on the cover page with the title, "You can love them, you can hate them, but you cannot ignore them." And our Honorable Prime Minister was there, Salman Khan was there, I was one of them. So I don't feel that all these people were doing something wrong.
What an esteemed company to be in.
I mean that is a good thing, definitely. But people like them, people have judged also these people.
Absolutely.
Who are, you know, doing tremendous good work. So people can think whatever they may want to. It's like where you are standing. Somebody who genuinely needs surrogacy would look it as an opportunity. Somebody who has easily had baby or does not believe in having children like this would think it the other way. So it's all being judgmental without experiencing. I tell these people that you have to experience infertility for a day. You have to be in the shoes of that surrogate mother for a day to experience what they are going through. And once they get the baby and the outcome, go and see what they are experiencing. Don't just sit in an office and pass comments.
True. Absolutely. Makes a lot of sense. Ma'am, where are we in the country right now with laws of surrogacy? Because there are so many couples for whom, you know, treatments don't work. Or even if they want to go for surrogacy by choice, where do we stand as a country right now?
The government has taken a very positive step in regulating surrogacy.
Okay.
So now the new Surrogacy Act is out, which is very good. Few flaws, I would say, which they need to reconsider. I am sure they will. But the Act now says that each and every file of the couple who is going for surrogacy should get an eligibility certificate where they've put fixed criteria. The age group, they should not have a child, and unless the child is physically or mentally challenged, then they should have a genuine medical problem. Nobody should do it just for the convenience, which is very true. They've debarred the same-sex couple, etc. And for the surrogate also, they've put very nice criteria that 25 to 35 years and they should be healthy, etc. So that's very good. And once they get the eligibility with the insurance of the surrogate, they get the essentiality, and then we can start doing the procedure. So right now, all the couples, the females who are born without uterus or had cancer and do not have a child, can go for surrogacy according to this act. But the couple who have one child, like we believe in 2-3 children, they cannot go for surrogacy. Donor egg is not allowed for surrogacy, and many a times the couple tries doing infertility treatment till the female is 43-44, and the last resort is surrogacy. So she may not have eggs at that time.
Right.
So such females have spent her life doing the treatment, now wants a child through donor and surrogacy, they cannot have. Or the age group, they've said female should be less than 50 who is intending mother, and father less than 50 or 5. But many a times we see a couple, the male is 56 and the female is still 47. They cannot go because the male is above that 55 years of age. Right. So these small things, if they look into it, I think this surrogacy act is going to be a boon. They have not allowed commercial surrogacy, altruistic, but yes, any unwilling person can also do surrogacy for you. And yes, you can take care of her medicine, health, and over and above whatever expenses she needs to lead a healthy life during those 10 months. So I think this is a reasonably good surrogacy act that has come up, bearing a few changes that it needs to.
So it is a good start of regulating
it. It's a good start. It's a good start.
But it needs a lot of
amendments. Yeah. India can really shine out in surrogacy if this act is really followed the right way.
And when they were forming the policy, they did come to you for suggestions.
They had come as a visiting to Akanksha Hospital, the Rajya Sabha union ministers, there were 2 of them, and Rajya Sabha members, to see what's really surrogacy, how it is being done. And we were the first ones to take 3 years of insurance for the surrogate from the couple before she starts. Okay. So that has been implemented in this also.
Wow.
So it was really nice to have the whole government convoy in our hospital in January 2020, just before the COVID time.
But I think a few years before that, you faced possibly one of the toughest professional challenges that you could not even imagine would happen to you when you built up a beautiful place and something didn't go right in your favor. Would you want to share that, and how did you come out of it? What kept you motivated at that time?
Well, Dhrumil, yes, I would say that in a town of Anand, I wanted to start a very nice hospital. I had kept my surrogates in mind. You know, I even run a surrogate trust. Even now, all my ex-surrogates can come to my trust, take treatment, take educational loans for their children, and free treatment for their family. We give them from that trust, Anand Surrogate Trust. There what happened is that this hospital was built keeping in mind that the couples will come, NICU will be there, human milk bank will be there, maternity unit, IVF all under one roof. And the foreign surrogacy got banned in November. And people thought this hospital was to start December 2015, and November 2015 the foreign surrogacy got banned, OCI surrogacy got banned. So people thought that this hospital is never going to start because they thought that surrogacy is my forte. And to my surprise, people whom I had already employed started backing out that no, this is not going to work. I was just going to shift my old hospital to new one, and there when I saw this chaos, I decided I'll have a huge inauguration and call 5,000 people to show that yes, this is starting, and touch wood today. After 8 years, it is running very successfully. The NICU, the human milk bank, it is a free service. Wow. We are providing corporate social responsibility, the IVF department, the maternity, and also we now have a huge cardiology department with us with bypass surgeries. So I think where there is a will, there is a way, and when you do good, it comes around.
It does come around, absolutely, and what a fab story. But ma'am, you are outspoken, you speak your mind, but there was one time when you had hidden something, and that was your pregnancy.
That's very common for females, you know, when they want to go for a job or anything. Like I stood first in my MBBS and I wanted to go for my gynae. Right. And when I went there for interview, we had one madam, she's now in Rajkot, Madam Mohile, that everybody wanted to go to her unit, which was unit number 2. Okay. So that was the best unit, and I decided that I also want to go there. But God forbid, I'm 3 months pregnant. If madam knows, then she will not take me as a candidate for residency, because she'll feel that once they get pregnant, they have a baby, they will not give enough time. And in residency, first year residents are known as laborers.
Okay.
So I was trying to hide it, and then madam selected me. And then I went and told madam that, madam, I have hidden this because I wanted to be in your unit. And she laughed that the moment you walked in the interview room, I knew you were pregnant. And the same thing happened now. When I opened my Zivia IVF in Jaipur, my consultant doctor whom I had trained and appointed, we started, we had an inauguration, and then 2 months down the line when I go there, she says, madam, you will not scold me. I said, why? I'm pregnant 4 months and I hid from you, I did not tell you. I said, no, I'm really happy that you are pregnant. This is a priority in life. Don't worry about your career. It will go on smoothly. What will happen if a baby comes? No, females are as good at work as males, even if they are pregnant, carrying baby and delivering.
Absolutely.
And she continued, she delivered a baby and she is doing a fantastic job in Jaipur. She thought she'll lose her job. I said, never ever. And in my hospital also, all the female staffs, they know that even if they are pregnant, they'll get all the leave, everything, all the support from the hospital.
Wow, which I think is fantastic, because ma'am, it's not just into medicine. You pick up any profession. A young woman is denied a job thinking that she's just gotten married, she'll plan a baby.
That's the mentality still there.
And I'm like, look at her qualifications, look at her degrees, look at her experience, look at what she wants to bring to your table. But all you care about is a pregnancy, and for 6 months you have to pay her. I'm so happy that you're changing
That's the hard reality,
this.
yeah, but
That's
it
a
should
hard
not
reality.
be, yeah.
So one of the best chat show of the world, I've got to know, sent an investigating journalist to Anand to make sure that you're doing all the right things. What was this chat show?
I got a mail from Oprah Winfrey's office. She's saying that we would like to do a story on your work that you do.
Okay.
And I was overjoyed. A message from there. So I said yes, and Lisa Ling, who was the investigative journalist over there, she came with her whole team for 5 days in Anand. They did the shooting for me in the hospital, and the surrogates shooting was their own. What did they have to say? That when we had come 1 year back after tsunami, we saw a very sad part of India where the kidneys were stolen or sold from the sailors who had lost everything in tsunami,
Right.
the boatmen, etc., for just 25,000 rupees. So we thought that what is this surrogacy going on in India? And we came here. We are very happy that the surrogates are being treated so well, they are being compensated so well, and then they are taught how to use this money to buy a house, educate children, everything. Their life is changing. 180 degrees turn around. And that's why Oprah Winfrey titled is One Woman Helping Another Woman. I love it. And she sent the same message to me, God bless you, Dr. Patel. Do this great work, continue this great work.
Wow. But I'm sure, ma'am, while you had your kid, there would be a lot of questions with the society be asking him that what is your mother doing? Because even people from your own profession didn't believe in you when you wanted to do something very unconventional. And when surrogacy has become such a taboo topic without understanding what really goes in there, without, as you mentioned, that, be that couple for a day and then speak for them. So what did your children go through? What was your conversation with them like? Because it's a very unconventional thing.
I fully agree with you. I especially remember my son when he was growing and he was in a school. Always one day or the other there was some article in the newspaper. And in the morning, if I say the first thing, there's some article in the newspaper, he would come literally scared and ask me, is it a positive or a negative article? I said, why?
Child.
Because he has to go to the school, he has to face other children, he has to face the teachers. I called him, I made him sit, and I made him understand the whole procedure, that this is what I do. There is nothing wrong in surrogacy. Don't believe it is wrong. And whatever it is, anyone says something, you can explain this to them. And he was very happy. He himself is an IVF consultant now, and he 100% believes in what I did and wants to continue that.
Which is so amazing. Ma'am, while we are talking about IVF and surrogacy, I think both of these are also very important for discordant couples of all the kinds. People who have HIV, or possibly the transgender community, or the same-sex couples. Currently, we do not have rules or laws which give them the freedom to become parents. What is your take on this?
Look, Dhrumil, for HIV and HBsAg, all these discordant couples, we can do IVF. We ourselves do it, but we have to be very, very careful about how we maintain the eggs, sperms, embryos, etc. and how we take up the procedure. There are guidelines to be followed that we follow. Regarding the same-sex couple, LGBTQ, it's a very difficult thing right now because surrogacy is not allowed for them. Recently there was a case where they changed the gender after freezing the sperms and then they could have a baby with one's egg sperms. Yes, that's a possibility. The lesbian couples still have a chance because they can do it as a single mother IVF and get the sperm from donation. But the single father, same-sex couples, that is the male, gays and the transgender still have an issue.
Maybe a few conversations are needed on that.
Yes, yes, they are needed. They have their own life to live and after proper, scrutiny, they should be taken up for infertility treatment or at least having a baby.
Absolutely. Ma'am, I cannot imagine your situation during COVID times. Imagine running this huge hospital, so many people around, so many people to take care of, a small city with minimal resources.
COVID and I shiver. There was a overnight ban on everything, no travel, curfew.
Right.
I had 100 pregnant surrogates that time.
100.
And the couples were from all over India. Even the district borders were closed. Why talk about states? And NRIs from Dubai, USA who had Indian passports, their children were there with us. And imagine if one surrogate gets COVID, all 100 would get it, they were there together. We didn't have support, manpower stopped coming to cook meal, to give them, and the babies would not wait, they would start delivering. I remember the sleepless nights we had. We had to keep the babies, we had a video call time in the afternoon to show the couple that the baby is fine. The couple crying over there, I have a child after 20 years, I can't come closer to the baby. Nannies, where to get, the nurses were not available. And we have to quarantine them and then hand over the baby. 15 days, 2 sets of nannies, again 15 days after quarantine, another 2. That was how we were working. The oldest baby I think was 3.5 months when we handed over them to a Pune-based couple. They could travel only then. And when they started coming, the borders were open, the societies gave problem. Nobody wanted the couple, hotels were closed for 3-4 months. So nobody wanted them in their society. So every day I had to call the collector. I was very happy the DSP and collector in Rajkot were very supportive. But beyond a certain limit they raised their hands that we have to be with the company. But thank God those days passed off very smoothly, all surrogates safe, all babies safe.
Which is superb. I actually am having goosebumps while listening to these stories, like 100 surrogate mothers in the same place and babies won't wait for anybody.
One Rajya Sabha member called me, Doctor, what are you doing? I've seen your facility in January, there were so many pregnant, how will you manage them? I said, I'm managing.
Wow.
It was a teamwork, team effort.
Ma'am, you're in your 60s and there is, I mean, of course, you are in your 30s.
Thank you.
But there is no stopping. What is it that you look forward in life now with your interests?
Well, of course, enjoy life, give it back to the society, education of the underprivileged people. That is a big thing that I want. Personally, I want to see that I can educate people who have children who are very intelligent but they don't have money to educate them. So that is one more thing that I want to do. And research. Huge interest in research, artificial intelligence, I have been part on 2-3 projects, and stem cells, another controversy.
Absolutely.
I have started doing that also, working on it, that how good, how bad it is, but it's really good and it could be the future. So my interest is right now research, give it back to the society, mainly education and of course medical part, and enjoy.
Wow. So you have decided to choose all the unconventional things to do and then to build up a road for the rest of the people to follow.
Yes, I believe in that, off-roading and then coming back to the road.
But that gets you so much of negative press as well all the time.
Look, I'm not afraid of negative press. Frankly speaking, I can ignore that as long as I know what I'm doing is right. Challenges are there. Huge number of challenges I face. But I think at now, experience of this 6 decades, I can overcome them. I can just ignore the challenge and find an opportunity out of it, that what I should do to overcome this challenge and do it even better.
Wow. Which is superb.
And for women, yes, everything for women I would want to do. Even my surrogates today can come knocking at my door any time. They know, madam, they call me mother, most of them, madam would help us.
Wow. Before we depart, one last question I wanted to ask you is about myths that people have about surrogacy.
What they feel is that you are exploiting some poor woman. In America, it's the highest number of surrogacy in the world is done in America, but they criticize why. Don't you think that there also there are women who are getting exploited? This is not exploitation. Surrogate mother knows that she is doing this 9 months of service. We scrutinize her, we screen her properly so that there is minimal risk. And after that, we are not removing any organ like kidney. She has her uterus. There are so many surrogates after delivering one surrogate baby, carried their own child and delivered their own child to complete their family. So it's just a 9 month of hand-holding to a couple to give a baby and in return change her and her family life. That's what I would say. So please remove all the myths unless you experience once again a surrogate's life and an infertile couple's life, you will not understand this.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, ma'am. I think there is so much more to learn from you, and we could only speak about certain things majorly on surrogacy, but I'm sure there is enough material about you on internet as well. You have done your TED Talks, you've been invited to the BBC in UK wherein you gave some amazing interviews. Thank you very much for being here with us. It was a pleasure talking to you, and how I wish we could speak more, but never say never.
Thank you, Dhrumil. It was equally good for me, because sometimes whatever is suppressed in your heart, you need to talk out and tell people that yes, you may think whatever I am, but this is what I know what I am. Thank you so much once again.